Hello guys! I'm so excited for this video. I'm annoyed because I filmed this a few days ago, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I'm redoing it. As you can tell from the title of the video, we are going to be doing our Love Island bombshell makeup. So this is the makeup I would do if I was in the show and I walked in as Bombshell. So obviously you want to go in, you want to look hot. You basically want to catch everyone's eye. I did already put on my outfit that I would wear if I was a Bombshell. It's this cute corset dress. Let me stand up and show you really quick. Am I glamming in this? Yes. Is it white? Yes. Will I get it dirty? Possibly. Now we gotta get into the glam. First things first, I did do my hair in a pony because I'm thinking if I was in Fiji, I know it's hot, my hair is curly, so I know it would get really frizzy if I tried to style it, even leave it curly, so we went with a little slick back, did some baby hairs in the front. But let's get into the makeup. What I would do if I was a Bombshell. 1, bronze, bronze, bronze. I feel like I'll put so much bronzer on because I want to look as tan and golden as possible. I also noticed most of the girls in the show always tend to have false lashes on. I have some of these like TikTok shop lashes here that I really love, so I feel like this will look really good. In terms of the eyes and face makeup, I feel like face, you want to do the least amount of powder as possible. I'm kind of giving away all the tips in the beginning before we get into it. There are a few things I think about when I think of makeup on Love Island. I think obviously the cameras are very 4K HD. So I feel like the one thing that's going to be so important is to lay off of powder as much as possible while also trying to keep the makeup staying on all day, even in the heat. So we are obviously going to be using powder, but I feel like minimizing it is really important. In terms of eyes, I don't want to do my everyday eyeshadow, so I feel like it needs to be a little bit more extra. Those are all my tips that I'm thinking of so far, but let's get started. I'm gonna start with brows. I know a lot of the girls in the show do fluffy brows. I did use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel Freeze earlier to lift the brows up, but now we're gonna fill them in. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do is to just use eyeshadow to fill my brows in when I laminate them with the gel. So I'm just using this like cool tone brown from the Skin palette by Kim, and we're gonna fill in just the ends of the eyebrow. Another reason I laminated the brows and I'm kind of lifting them up is also the same reason I put my hair in a pony. Besides the fact that it would get frizzy, I feel like those two combined, the hair and the brows, when you pull back like that, it really gives you that snatched lift at the end of your eyes as well as your eyebrows. So I feel like that's crucial for a bombshell glam. Okay, I think we have one done. I'm so sad, Love Island US, I feel like it's coming to an end. There's only like a few episodes left. I'm not gonna give away any spoilers of the show. I do have to say, Clark knows how to do her makeup. Her makeup and her base, flawless every single time she's on camera. Okay, fill them in only a little bit at the ends. I'm gonna clean them up with some concealer. I'm gonna use the Born This Way by Too Faced. This is so risky doing in white. Cleaning the top a little bit as well. Brows and eyeliner are the one thing I feel like I can't speak. I just like concentrate. This is the one thing I love about this brow gel. It will not move no matter how much I sweat, no matter how long I'm wearing it. A really good dupe for it, I would also say, is the NYX Brow Glue. Mine's just completely empty. I noticed actually, I think Sierra and Hood one of them were using this. I'm not sure who, but I know one of them in the show were using this one, and yeah, you can tell their brows do not move. Blend out the concealer. Brows are finished. Let's go on to skin. Obviously I said we want to be as glowy as possible. We need our super group. This is the glow screen in the golden hour. It's going to be a little darker than my actual skin tone, but we're going to blend to the next, so it's okay. Instead of foundation, we're gonna use a skin tint. I love these Kylie Cosmetics skin tints. I feel like they're very skin-like, so I feel like it would show up really well on camera, on like big production cameras like that. So I'm going in with 5N. Look at that. The way it completely evened my skin tone without it looking too overpowering. I'm gonna go in with concealer for the blemishes, but I feel like this just makes my skin all one color. Oh my god, if I was walking into the villa, that must be so scary. I'm like thinking about it now. Like terrifying. So much pressure, especially being a bombshell. I want to know the other girls' like full glam routines. I wish I did like after sun, but like give us a makeup tutorial or something. To conceal, I'm going back in with the Born This Way concealer for under the eyes. And a little blemish right there. Nice. The one thing I'm gonna skip out on is doing a really bright under eye. So I'm not using a concealer that's really brightening. I'm just using one to cover any sort of darkness or redness I have. Because I feel like when we do go in powder, it's gonna brighten it more anyway. So if you have a light concealer and a light powder, I feel like it could be a little overbearing on the skin. So we're gonna leave that pretty neutral. The best part. The part that makes a bombshell. Bronzer, contour, all that good stuff. I'm using the Rare Beauty Liquid Contour in Serene. And we're just gonna do 2 dots. This stuff is strong. Always to the neck. My little hack for nose contouring is don't use a liquid contour. Do it just with powder, because sometimes this can get a little muddy around the nose. I have to say, I think one of the best bombshells to ever come on Love Island has to be Andrina. I think she's drop dead beautiful. Body tea, face tea. They don't really show much of her personality. Maybe she's just more like quiet, I don't know. I feel like she doesn't get a lot of screen time, but I think she's beautiful. I feel the same way about Uma from UK, Grace from UK. I feel like those are the 3 best bombshells. For cream blush, I'm using the One Size in the shade Thirsty. This thing is a mess. Let's not talk about it. I do want to do a little bubblegum pink blush. It isn't gonna show up much after I put powder on, but just to give it a little color. Next, we're going in with powder. I have a really good hack for powder that I didn't even realize was a hack until I did it in a video, and a few people were commenting about it, and I was like, I thought everyone knew to do this, but I guess not. Instead of using a powder puff, we're gonna be using a beauty blender, but yes, wet your beauty blender. It's okay to wet it. Obviously squeeze the rest of the water out. Make sure your beauty blender is damp. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and after your beauty blender is damp, tap into it, take off the excess, and whatever is left on the beauty blender on the sponge is what you're gonna wanna put under your eye. Wait, let's get these creases out actually. Okay, using whatever's left on here, we're gonna set. Look at that. Look how smooth. Can you even tell on camera? See how that set the makeup without making it very powdery on the skin? As a girl with really dry skin, and also in the summer, like if I'm tanning, my skin will start to get really dry and start to peel. I do not want my powder sitting on top of my dry skin. So when you damp your beauty blender and go in with the powder, it sets the creams, I feel like, seamlessly. I feel like anytime I have my makeup like this where I do the powder with my beauty blender, it looks the best in any kind of photos I take. So I'm assuming in that kind of lighting, those kind of cameras, this would do very well. I'm just gonna lightly set the rest of my face with some powder as well. For bronzer, I'm using the YSL All Hours Hyper Bronzer in the shade 5. I have fallen in love with this bronzer ever since I went on the YSL trip. I feel like the color of it is so like sun-kissed, beautiful. This is where you're not gonna wanna be shy. Go in. What did I say earlier? Never forget the neck, ever, 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 ever. Nose contour time, since we didn't use any creams before, with a little tiny brush. It's gonna look a little aggressive, but trust it. Blend it with your fingers a bit. Now this is the step we're gonna wanna bake very slightly. To bake, I'm still using the damp beauty blender, but I'm not tapping off the excess powder that I just put on here. We're just gonna go in around the nose. And bring that also to the outer part of the eye. I'm not gonna dip it back in, but with the excess, we're gonna go under the jaw. That's what our bake is looking like. Yes, I did just put it on, but I'm gonna wipe off most of it under my eye. Keeping it on around my nose, but under my eye, I'm taking off most of it. This is why I didn't use a very bright concealer, because see how bright it already looks? Since we took off most of the bake that was under the eyes, we're gonna put blush on now. I'm going in with the same blush from this little one size palette in Yes Sir. Bubblegum pink. This is the current state. Let's wipe off the rest of this bake. Now that we're done with most of the powders, I'm gonna set with the face glue setting spray. We're gonna go in twice with setting spray, so first a wet one. Now we're gonna start the eyes. First, I'm gonna take any neutral shades I have. I'm using the skin palette again and just going with those two to set the eyelids. You can even just use powder for this. I'm gonna go back in with the bronzer I use on my face onto the crease for my eyeshadow. And bringing that into the nose. I told you we're gonna bronze it up, so not just the face, but also the eyes. Using the same thing, we're doing a little bit on the lash line, using a really, really tiny brush. I'm gonna go in with some glitter from this Patrick Ta We Need Better Lighting. It's like a little duo. This is the Major Dimension Eye Illusion Eyeshadow Duo. Woo! From Patrick Ta, and I'm gonna use the gold one right there. This looks so pretty good. To me, this would not be bombshell makeup if we didn't do a little bit of eyeliner. So let's do a wing. I'll be back because I cannot focus if I do this on camera. Whew, I can breathe now. Finish the liner. I do need to clean it up with a little bit of concealer. When I conceal the eyeliner, I also love that it kind of brightens up the outer corners of my eyes, also lifting it. And then I go in with a little bit of powder again. And we're gonna set that. I'm taking my Rare Beauty Exhilarate highlighter and we're gonna put that on the nose. So it kind of matches our eyelids as well. Cool, let's shimmer. Currently what the glam is looking like. We have mascara next. Like I said, we're gonna be doing false lashes. I'm using the ones from TikTok Shop, like I said, but I ran out of my favorite ones that I really like, which is the You Cool Me ones in the shade Aphrodite. So I'm using this one as well, Fawendia, and the shade Freya. I'm gonna mix these. For the lash map, I'm gonna do 16 on the outside, 14, and then 12. So we're gonna use 3 lashes on each eye. These lashes are kind of like extensions, so you bond them on and then you seal them. They do last a few days. We're gonna bond them first. You have to wait for the glue to dry for at least 30 seconds, so do that first. First lash. I just put the lashes on one eye. I have to wait for them to dry a little more and then we'll seal them, add some mascara, and we'll be finished with the eyes. The lashes are done. I'm obsessed. I love these lashes. Sometimes you can see the band, which I hate, so we're gonna go in with a little black waterliner and tightline, just so you don't see the band at all. Other eye. We're almost done with the makeup. I'm so excited. I'm gonna do a little fake beauty mark right over here. I love doing this to elevate my makeup. I don't know why, it just does something. I'm using the Anastasia brow pen. I think this is the best thing to do if you're gonna do a fake beauty mark. I did it on top of my real one, so it looks less fake. And then I'm gonna do one more right by my eye. Perfect. We're gonna wanna set this makeup so it lasts all day during challenges, during the Fiji heat. So one size, of course. suffocating. I did say we want to keep this makeup on all day, and also we know Love Island has all these challenges on the lips, so we're gonna do a lip stain. We gotta keep the lips on, you know what I mean? I'm using the Huda Beauty one. This is in Toasty Brown. This one is a bit dark, so I'm gonna blend out the edges with a little brush. I do have to say, one of the favorite things that I think Ariel has taught me is cleaning up your lip liner, even if it doesn't look messy. This is a lip stain, but same thing. It makes the world of a difference, I feel like, when you do it. Even, again, if you don't think you need it. You can't tell me that small little thing just changed the lips. Using a little bit of that concealer that I just had to put in the middle. Finishing off lips with this Huda Beauty gloss in Ooh Baby, I think? Yes. It's kind of bright, so I'm gonna put a little bit in the middle. That is the final makeup look. I love how this turned out. This just makes me wish I was a bombshell. I kind of feel like I need a reason to go out tonight because this glam came on fire. And if you are watching Love Island US this season, comment who you're rooting for. I have to say right now, I keep changing my mind. Every single episode, I have a new couple I like. But right now, Huda and Chris on top. And Amaya Papaya, of course. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I took inspo from Aisha because Aisha did do a TikTok with the same kind of concept, her bombshell glam. If you guys don't follow us on TikTok, I will put it on the screen, and follow me on Instagram as well. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.